watching GVTV News.
Thanks, Amy, and I'm Randy Hansen. In today's world news headlines, 12 killed, 50 injured in Colorado movie theater shooting. Syrian intelligence chief dies from attack injuries, rebels seize border crossings. And Russia and China veto new Security Council measure in Syria. And U.S. condemns veto of Syria resolution. And Russia, it says Syria veto aimed at preventing military force. And tens of thousands protest new austerity measures in Spain. And judge rejects bid by Manning lawyers to cite evidence leak caused no harm. And Panetta orders Pentagon to watch news media for leaked classified material. And Obama affirms Israel's ties ahead of Romney visit. And U.S. unemployment claims may make biggest jump in more than a year. And class action Latino discrimination lawsuit against Sheriff Arpaio opens in Arizona. And U.S. service members allowed to wear uniforms of LGBT Pride March. And a report says police confiscating condoms from sex workers. And U.S. ban prevents sex workers and drug users from attending AIDS conference. GVTV News is broadcast on Grass Valley Television, a division of Rural Counties Television Network, whose focus is on community involvement. We also air on NCTV, but before these stories, GVTV News would like to thank one of our underwriters who supports your only visual video news media in Nevada County. That's right, it's us, GVTV News. In today's first world news story, 12 have been killed and about 50 wounded in a mass shooting at a movie theater outside of Denver. Gunmen wearing gas masks and bulletproof vests set off what appeared to be a smoke bomb before opening fire. Police say the suspect is in custody. He's believed to have acted alone. Attack came at a screening of a new Batman film in Denver suburb of Aurora. A number of wounded are in critical condition. It's the worst mass shooting in the United States since the killing of 32 people in Virginia Tech 5 years ago. Syrian rebels continue to make gains in the regime of the Bashar al-Assad, seizing a number of border crossings with neighboring Iraq and Turkey. Opposition fighters overrun government forces at 2 major crossings, including one controlled by controlling the vital trade route on Damascus to Baghdad highway. Meanwhile, the Syrian government says the country's intelligence chief, Hisham Ishatar, has died from injuries sustained in Wednesday's bombing in a high-level meeting in Damascus, making him the 4th Assad regime insider to die in an attack. Amidst the violence, the United Nations is warning 1 million Syrians are now believed to be internally displaced, doubling the previous estimate. And fighting continues in Syria one day after Russia and China vetoed the UN Security Council resolution threatening new sanctions on the Syrian regime. Russia and China say they took action over demand for the inclusion of penalties under Chapter 7 of the UN Charter, which would leave open the possibility of military intervention. The measure would also have extended the UN observer mission in Syria for 45 days. Shortly after the veto, a spokesperson of the UN Arab League envoy Kofi Annan is disappointed with the measure that passed. Ahmed Fazi said, "Well, the joint special envoy is disappointed to say the least. The Security Council could not unite and take a strong concerted action, and he had urged for and hoped for. And know the voice of the Security Council is much more powerful than its members when the members act as one." Thursday's actions mark the 3rd time Russia and China have vetoed a resolution in Syria on the past 9 months. U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations Susan Rice condemned the veto and said the Security Council has failed to in its most important task on its agenda this year. This is another dark day in the Turtle Bay. One can only hope for the one day before too many thousands more die that Russia and China will stop protecting Assad and allow this council to play its proper role in the center of an international response to the crisis in Syria. Russia has said it used a veto in a bid to prevent any future pretext for a military force. Speaking in the United Nations, Russia's Ambassador Vitaly Churkin claimed the United States and its allies are seeking to target the Assad regime as part of a bid to weaken Iran. Tens of thousands of people marched in city across Spain on Thursday in the largest protest to date against the massive spending cuts and tax increases pushed through to obtain the bailout for the country's banks. Demonstrators took to the streets as Spanish lawmakers approved a new round of austerity measures in Parliament, including a higher sales tax and cut to the wages of public workers. Spanish union leader Ignacio Fernandez Taxo said the new austerity measures threaten Spain's future and said this is true aggression against the workers out of work, against the workers from the public sector, against self-employment, against professionals, against the middle class of society who will go straight to poverty as a result of this plan. This is a planned budget cut that goes against Spain's economy. In economic terms, it's suicidal. Kind of like where we're headed. In Madrid, Thursday's protest ended in unrest when police fired rubber bullets at demonstrators at the close of a massive march. Military judge has rejected a bid by attorneys for the alleged U.S. Army whistleblower Bradley Manning to cite evidence showing a leak for which he is accused caused no damage to the United States. Manning's attorney had sought to present damage assessment reports that evaluated the impact of the publication of government diplomatic cables that Manning allegedly provided to WikiLeaks. Internal government reviews have found the leak caused minimal damage, contradicting prosecutors' contention that Manning's harmed national security and aided U.S. foes. But on Thursday, the judge overseeing Manning's military trial rejected the efforts, saying the impact of the leak is irrelevant to Manning's case. The judge also rejected a defense request to present testimony from United States Rapporteur Juan Mendez, who said the U.S. government's treatment of Manning may amount to torture. Defense Secretary Leon Panetta has ordered the top Pentagon officials to monitor major U.S. news organizations for signs of leaked classified material. I guess they'll be looking at us. The order comes after recent media reports about U.S. cyber operations against Iran and Obama's administration's policies for targeting drone attacks overseas. Panetta announced the monitoring on Thursday after discussing the leaks before a closed-door congressional hearing. On campaign trail, Republican candidate Mitt Romney is preparing to head overseas for a trip that will take him to Britain, Israel, and Poland. Speaking in Florida on Thursday, President Obama said U.S. support for the Israeli government transcends the partisan divide, and said, and I want everybody here to know, under my administration, we haven't just preserved the unbreakable bond with Israel. We have strengthened it. We have stood by Israel's side in the face of criticism. Our military intelligence cooperation has never been closer. I want you to know that that's something that should transcend party. That's not a Republican or Democratic issue. That is an issue that how we work with one of our closest allies in the world that shares our values and believes in democracy. New figures show that the number of claims and unemployment benefits rose 34,000 last week, the biggest jump in over a year. The official's unemployment rate remains at 8.2%, and 75,000 jobs being created on average per month, down from 226,000 during the year's first quarter. A class action lawsuit allegedly widespread discrimination against Latinos by the notorious Maricopa County Sheriff Joe Arpaio opened Thursday in Arizona. Plaintiffs represented by civil rights groups are accusing Arpaio of violating the rights of Latinos by systematically targeting them for traffic stops and detention. Among evidence cited in the court papers are Arpaio's own statements about his peer program intended to go after illegals, not from the crime first. One plaintiff is a Mexican tourist who was a passenger in a car pulled out by deputies ostensibly for speeding, though the white driver was neither arrested nor cited. Mexican passenger was arrested despite having a valid visa identification. Another lawsuit against Arpaio brought by the Department of Justice alleges his office also punished prisoners for speaking Spanish and neglecting to investigate a massive number of sex crimes. The Pentagon has announced it will allow U.S. and service members to wear their uniforms at a Gay Pride March for the first time. Permission was granted for the Saturday's Pride Parade in San Diego, California. The Pentagon says the move does not mark a permanent shift in the policy, only apply to this one case. A new report was found police in major U.S. cities are confiscating condoms from sex workers, putting them at risk of contracting HIV and AIDS. Human Rights Watch says police are harassing and threatening transgender women and sex workers and even arresting them solely for carrying condoms. In at least 3 cities, prosecutors introduced condoms as evidence at trials. Some sex workers who are afraid to carry condoms reportedly have unprotected sex or using plastic bags as substitutes. The report also notes widespread profiling and other business by police, including reports police in Los Angeles and New York City demanding sex in exchange for dropping charges or coerced women into sex while they were detained. And U.S. restrictions are preventing many people most affected by HIV and AIDS from attending the International AIDS Conference scheduled to begin in Washington, D.C. on Sunday. This last Sunday, the United States categorically banned sex workers and drug users from entering the country unless they can obtain a special waiver. Sex workers and their allies are protesting their exclusion by holding a separate conference called the Sex Workers Freedom Festival in Kolkata, India. Speaking ahead of the India conference, Andrew Hunter of the Global Network of Sex Work Projects said the United States is discriminating against sex workers and said the U.S. are the largest funder for HIV services and provide antiretroviral medicines to people with HIV, yet they are completely hypocritical when it comes to involvement in sex workers in and not only in the International AIDS Conference, but the role of sex workers in controlling the HIV epidemic globally. So we're not allowed to go to their conference, but we're also not allowed to get their money for HIV prevention programming. And that's it for World News today. We'd like to thank our underwriters who support, another one of them, who support your own visual video news media in Nevada County. That's us.
Soundcheck Music Center, the rock and roll connection. We have guitars, amps, drum equipment, sound accessories, lessons, and repairs. We are located at 671 Maltman Drive, Grass Valley. 530-272-7236, open 7 days a week.
No one needs anyone, they don't even just pretend. Jonas in America. I'm afraid of Americans. I'm afraid of the world. I'm afraid I can't help it. I'm afraid I can't. I'm afraid of Americans. I'm afraid of the world. I'm afraid I can't.
That's right. It's time for the police blotter, and pictures in the blotter not from these actual events but used for visual aid only. These public records are obtained from daily logs issued from Nevada County Law Enforcement. Grass Valley Police Department on Thursday, 9 a.m. A report was taken from Idaho Maryland Road and East Main Street. Someone stole a violin and case, cell phone, and money. At 9:20 a.m. a report was taken 400 block Idaho Maryland Road of theft of a GPS from a locked car. 10:14 a.m. a report was taken at 200 block of Sierra College Drive of receiving fake money. And 10:28 a.m. a report was taken that children were on a roof throwing rocks. 1:58 a report was taken from Rockwood Drive that a female neighbor was being nude in public places. And 3:22 p.m. a report was taken that a man was trying to steal. He was not located. 4:16 p.m. a man reported another man hit him in the head from 300 block of Mill Street. And 4:57 p.m. a report was taken of cussing hobos at Memorial Park. 5:27 p.m. a man reported a car had been ransacked 300 block of Columbia Avenue. At 5:49 p.m. a report was taken 3 people were smoking pot near 1900 block of Nevada City Highway. They were not found. 6:37 p.m. a report was taken 2 men beat up another one who had a bloody face. He did not want medical attention. At 6:48 p.m. a report was taken shoplifting in 100 block of McKnight Way. At 7:09 p.m. a report was taken a suspicious solicitor possibly casing residents of 400 block of Lamarck Court. At 7:11 p.m. a report was taken from women accusing another woman of stealing her meds. Oh, it was from one woman, another one stealing her meds from Bennett Street Transient Camp. 7:43 p.m. a report was Memorial Park of teens vandalizing a cannon, and 8:16 p.m. a report was taken in 100 block of Neal Street that a man stole liquor but then gave it back. 11:56 p.m. a report was taken on Rough and Ready Highway that 2 motorcyclists were speeding and passing cars at 90 miles per hour. No one was found. Sorry about the background noise, but sometimes people just can't figure some things out. Friday, 12:33 a.m., a report was taken. Very big party from Richardson and Church Street, and a party was shut down. In Nevada County Sheriff Office Thursday, 8:12 a.m., a report was taken from Northview Drive that $20 was stolen from an unlocked car. 9:29 a.m., a report was taken from 13,000 block of Gas Canyon Road of a possible credit card fraud. 11:54 a.m., a report of burglary to a motorhome, Lowell Hill Road, was called in. Looks familiar. 12:20 p.m., a report was taken of burglary in 13,000 block of Pinecone Circle, and 2 motorcycles, 2 helmets, and a cell phone were missing. And 12:46 p.m., a report was taken on assault in the Chicago Park area yesterday. And 3:46 p.m., a report was taken at 13,000 block of Traham Road, firearms from 2 years ago. What's the rush on the reporting of this? 3:46 p.m., a report of bad check was taken on 12,000 block of LeBar Meadow Road. And 3:53 p.m., a report was taken an irrigation pipe being damaged by a car on Big Springs Road. 5:19 p.m., a report of a bear walking down the road was reported by a woman, 14,000 block of Peardale Road. 7:29 p.m., a report was taken from 22,000 block of Rambling Oaks Drive, reported a neighbor continually placing boulders with tar on them in the road. 11:44 p.m., a report of a man locked behind a gate on 15,000 block of Orchard Springs Road was taken. And 1:46 a.m., a woman reported a man hit her in the face and pushed her, but did not want to press charges from 10,000 block of Old Pond Lane. Nevada City Police Department on Thursday, 10:36 a.m., a report was taken of theft from Broad Street. And 2:56 a.m., a report was taken of a fight from Sacramento and Adams Street. 6:45 p.m., a report was taken from 100 block of Orchard Street of a burglary. At 9 p.m., a report of a burglary from the 200 block of Bridge Street was taken. That's it for the blotter today. Now another thanks to one of our underwriters who supports your only visual video news media in Nevada County. That's right, it's us, GVTV News. Christopher's Old World Deli and Catering Company has brought its delicious food and service downtown Grass Valley. Like desserts? They got 'em. You like international style lunches? They got 'em. Christopher's Deli and Catering for parties, get-togethers, weddings, or whatever. Open 7 days a week. In today's local news headlines, patient advocacy group seeks funding to fight marijuana initiative, and local tech firm in Grass Valley, USA to lay off 34 people. Nevada County Fair bucking a trend. According to an article written by Liz Keller of the Union this last week, Patricia Smith, founder of a nonprofit patient advocacy group, Grassroots Solutions and Americans for Save Access Nevada County, had sent out an email plea that they needed to raise $6,000 by this last weekend. Patricia stated that our legal fees are mounting, and if we can't raise enough money to continue the fight, we will simply have to abandon our lawsuit and the ordinance will stand. San Diego attorney hired by the coalition to defend it, Jeffrey Lake, had filed an injunction to halt the ordinance that will be heard in court July 27th. He earlier requested a temporary restraining order in early May that was denied. Some of the donators were quick to respond. $2,000 donation came in, a $1,000 donation, and some numerous other smaller amounts. Smith had concerns that the county have a much deeper pocket for their battle was something to consider. Smith also stated several chapters of the ASA were collecting donations to fight this appeal. Some of the locations were Mother Truckers and Brass Rail and Briar Patch. If you wish to support this action, you can use PayPal. Go through the group's website, asa-nc.com. This battle is not going away soon. GVTV News has always supported the legalization of this harmless plant and wish this group the best in their pursuit of this action. In a story written by Jeff Pallane of the Sierra Foothill Report, One Stop Business and Career Center offers reemployment services to Grass Valley USA, aka Grass Valley Group employees. After receiving notice from the Grass Valley USA that 34 employees were being laid off, the One Stop Business and Career Center has initiated efforts to provide response services to the affected employees. Federal Work Act, Investment Act, funds are allocated to Nevada County through the One Stop to provide services to dislocated workers. All Grass Valley USA staff who had received a layoff notice are eligible for assistance. These services include meeting with each affected employee to help identify individuals' goals and next steps, and then assisting to implement the reemployment plans. One Stop staff will help draft resumes, work on interview skills, assist with job leads, and help with other actions aimed at ensuring each employer gets back into workforce as soon as possible. Federal WIA funds will also help with scholarship for needed re-education, relocation costs, and support services that help affected employees secure their next job. Grass Valley USA's layoffs are expected to start in September and be phased in through December of this year. The One Stop is offering services starting now to affected employees. Great organization down there. And another story by Jeff Pelling out of the Sierra Foothills Report. California counties have a long tradition of celebrating their agricultural boundaries with a network of county fairs dating back to the Civil War. The tradition continues on this day with animals, ag, education, rides and attractions, concerts, and of course, fair food. Just like the state parks, however, the state's network of 78 fairs has come under severe financial pressure because of the state's financial woes. Many are suffering, but others are responding to the challenge by becoming entrepreneurial. They are cutting costs, finding new revenue sources, and attracting more year-round events. Nowhere is county fair more visibly succeeding than in Nevada County. Fairs need to make the transition from functioning as nonprofits to operating in an entrepreneurial mode, says Sandy Woods, Fair Chief Executive Director, who has an extensive background in private sector and is president of the prestigious Western Fairs Association. Nevada County Fair has been increasing its financial reserves each year, revitalizing its existing events and more recently renting out the fairgrounds for marquee concerts. Fair generates more than $20 million in spending activities annually, according to the Division of Fairs and Expositions. Located under the tall pines trees of Grass Valley, the fairgrounds are commonly referred to as California's most beautiful fairgrounds, and the home to the fair, Draft Horse Classic, County Christmas Fair, the Country Christmas Fair, and many other things out there. They have the monster truck shows and ag education. Lots of fun. I always work out there. Hope to see you there. September 14th, Fairgrounds will be a venue for a benefit concert starring America's music icon Willie Nelson, presented by the Center for the Arts. It's the 10th annual benefit concert, Bear Huber Land Trust. Draft Horse Classic will feature exciting new attractions September 20th through the 23rd. Gerard Pardon and the House of Friesians, and helped bring the Olympic torch to Vancouver in 2010 Winter Olympics. Treat Street Nevada County Fair is famous for its delicious fair food, and more than 30 booths along with a new pathway are staffed by volunteers from nonprofit groups selling corn dogs, corn on the cob, hamburgers, hot dogs, pulled pork sandwiches, caramel corn, funnel cake, and more. That's it for our local news today. We'd like to thank Amy Goodman, Reuters, Associated Press, Ubinet, Sierra Foothills Report, local law enforcement, others for the source of our news, and you for watching. Oh, did I forget the union? Oh, I'll thank them too. Due to the complaint from the local paper, we will no longer be using their reports for local stories except for the facts of the news, as we abide by fair use of the news. Understand, we might do the same stories, local news, as news facts are public domain. Remember, we are only visual video news in Nevada County. We are free for you to watch 7 days a week, and we are looking forward to it. If you have local stories and would like to have them aired on our news, please email us with a limit of 750 words, and if you have pictures, include them with your email to grassvalleytelevision@gmail.com. Include some sort of contact information for verification of facts. You can watch this broadcast, Comcast Cable, NCTV Channel 11, Nevada County, 8 a.m., 3 p.m., 7:30 p.m., Monday through Friday, 10:30 a.m. Saturday, and 8 p.m. Sunday, and Suddenlink 16, Channel 16, and Truckee and Alta Sierra. We also streamed on NCTV's Digital Media Center website, NevadaCountyTV.org and GVTV.org, and don't forget Grass Valley Television that plays 24/7 on the net, GrassValleyTelevision.com. We post to Facebook, YouTube, Blip.tv, and many other podcast sites. Have RSS feed and a video podcast on iTunes. Just search under video podcast for GVTV News. You can get that feed every day. We are happy that NCDMC has moved its time for content again, and we had missed you. Grass Valley Television also videotapes local events around Nevada County. If you have a need for video, you can contact us for more info. grassvalleytelevision@gmail.com, or call us 530-362-8889. Welcome to Nevada County Sheriff's Office Most Wanted, updated July 5th, 2012. These people have warrants for their arrest. If you see any of these subjects on the street or have any information regarding their whereabouts, please contact the Sheriff's Department. Every effort is made to keep this information as current as possible. However, information provided should be verified before taking any action. Shown is the pictures of those most wanted. Please confirm warrant with the Nevada County Sheriff's Warrant Unit at 530-265-1474. Jason Angus McNutt, age 36, out of Truckee, violation, probation, felony, no bail. David Humberto Gonzalez, age 29, LKA, Grass Valley, lewd, lascivious acts, felony, 50,000. Sergio Espatilla, age 40, unknown location, for murder, felony, no bail. Charlene Jillian Hill, age 33, Nevada, drugs violation, probation, felony, 25,000. Cecilia Cunningham, aka Morgan or Gary, age 56, unknown, possibly LA, possible drugs for sale, conspired to commit a crime, resist arrest, felony, 30,000. Brendan Barker, age 31, unknown, numerous drug offenses, felony, 70,000. Justin Owen Byer, age 35, Grass Valley, numerous drug offenses, felony, 42,500. Mark Ray Johnson, age 45, Grass Valley, numerous drug offenses, felony, no bail. Michael Carl Peterson, age 28, Portland, in stolen vehicle, felony, 10,000. Elizabeth Ann Monk, age 44, Grass Valley, check passing insufficient funds, for felony, no bail. Robert Dean Hicks, age 60, Sacramento, grand theft, felony, bail, 50,000. And Tara Serene Davis, age 32, unknown, possession of controlled substance, under the influence, controlled substance, felony, 10,000. Do not attempt to apprehend these suspects. Instead, contact a local law enforcement agency or the Nevada County Sheriff's Office at 530-265-1474. This update was July 5th, 2012. These people have warrants for their arrest. If you see any of the subjects on the street or have any information regarding their whereabouts, please contact the Sheriff's Department. Every effort is made to keep this information as current as possible. However, the information provided should be verified before taking any action. Shown are the pictures of the most wanted. Please confirm warrant with the Nevada County Sheriff's Warrants Division at 265-147.